Hey,
Yo,
welcome back to the Friday Big Byte. We're here, hopefully technologically issue free, but it's been a month or so since we've done this. So, really happy to be seen and see you guys, Jeff and Phil and David and Jake, who I know are also on the call. Uh,
what's
what's
up?
up? What's up? How you guys doing? It's July. Can you believe it's
Pretty,
already
pretty
like
good.
end of July?
Almost,
July's
yeah,
almost
almost out of
over.
it. It's insane. Um, yeah, time's flown
It's 2020 for you.
for real. Um, yeah, you want me to just kick it right off?
For sure.
I'm getting like an echo.
Me
Wonder if
too.
Yep,
there's
I was just making
someone has
sure
the
everyone.
stream open or something. No, you're good. Cool. All right. So I guess a lot of my shares today are going to be about um, display ads. The banners and other interactive ads that
The
we've been
lifeblood of
doing
our
for our
campaigns.
clients. Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of work. Put a lot of hours into it, and they look really good. I just want to kind of outline maybe some of the pitfalls and some ways we can make them more engaging. Um, so if this is not the crux of a banner ad, I don't know what is, right? This is a book written by Stephen Pressfield, who spent decades in the ad industry. He was a writer, and you can tell, right, by his jaded outlook here. Nobody wants to read your shit. And there's some other tough love truths to make you a better writer. Um, I mean, it's true, right? And this says it the best. They're not scrolling looking for your ad. They don't want to see your ads. No one wants to
Right. No
see
one
your ads,
looks for
right?
ads to interact with on the web.
Yeah, and every Friday morning before Friday Big Bite, this is my view, right? I'm turning off uBlock Ad Blocker Plus to make sure that I can actually share
Yeah.
banner ads, right? And this is the reality of the years that we live in, where these add-ons exist and people use them, and it literally makes your ads invisible. So not only do they not want to read them, they can actually act on that and not even see them. So part of our job, I guess, is to make them more engaging, more compelling, so that it's not a drain for somebody to load up a page and see a bunch of like boring static ads that detract from the site. We want to make them as engaging and as compelling as possible. Um, and here's just a couple examples of this one doesn't work. So check this out. I hope you heard
I
that.
did.
Um, when you hover over this, I'll refresh it. IKEA, right? So when you hover over this banner ad, the box opens up, and that's kind of cool. And then you see, oh, banner instructions. Okay, this is an IKEA pamphlet that's instructing you how to build something. So you take the board out. So move it. There it is. What's next? Insert the wood plugs into the drill holes. And really, there's nothing else to do but drag it on. Okay,
Right.
and it animates it for you, makes cool little sounds. Place board 2 on. Cool. So it's you're actively building an
I
ad
mean, that's
with
very on brand for
IKEA.
them to make sure that you're
It's an
building that
right.
in the ad.
Roll out the wallpaper. So you roll it down. There's your ad. Okay, and you can even see, boom, you saved money by doing that. Um,
Oh,
Visit their online store. So it's
that's fun.
as engaging as it gets. It's compelling. It's interactive. Um, just a really well done
Yeah, it's pretty
job by
robust, I would
IKEA.
imagine. I mean, that's like
Oh yeah.
basically programming like a little game, almost so to speak, or something short of it. Similar to like when you'd done our agency survey a year or two ago.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Super interactive. There's this other concept that's creepy as hell. Another concept about the blink test, right? And the blink test is, well, you load up a page. How often does a human blink? Well, it depends on external stimulus, how dry your eyes are, whatever. Say once every 5 seconds or so. Within those 5 seconds, you better be catching their attention. Otherwise, your ad's basically invisible.
Right.
It's blind to the user. Um, so there's 4 key points that they illustrate to which affects how engaging it'll be within that blink test duration. First is the package. What's it built in? Is there an external library that's required, like Flash, to load it, or is it native HTML, CSS, JavaScript that'll load really quickly? It's lightweight. There's no issues in loading the thing to the end user. Right when the page loads, they see the ad. That's the package. The appeal is pretty self-explanatory. Is it eye-catching? Is it animated? How's the color scheme? What's the CTA look like? Stuff like that. The message is also pretty self-explanatory. It's what's the copy on the screen. You know, if you're a sports fan and you load this ad or you load a page and you see this ad, all sports on your smartphone, it's pretty compelling, right? To a sports fan, more likely to not blink and miss it. And interactivity, pretty good example is right here. It's a way to engage the user. So if we pay attention to these four tactics, I'll call them, we have a much better chance of assuming they're not blocking the damn thing to, engage the user quickly before they scroll or blink and miss it.
And I mean, I think even the blockers, when you talk about that, like, I mean, not all of our audiences would be using blockers necessarily, but it is something to consider, in our media plans and in our strategy as far as just, if that's an opportunity or a possibility, should we also be putting, efforts into more native, placements that aren't specifically blockable, by banners. So a good opportunity to have a better discussion with our friends in the engagement team. Shout out engagement team. But it's just every campaign and every scenario is different. So it's why it's important that we're always looking at things like banner ads and how can we implement them successfully.
100%. Yeah, there's I think they're called native ads, right?
Yep.
That like show up within your feed. You can't ad block those, so it's a good alternative. The engagement team, the media team, does a really good job of getting the message here, which is a really important piece of this, to the right people, right? They wouldn't be showing this to a drama kid to strongly generalize. Sorry, Andy, you love sports too, right? But they're going to target the ads to people who the messaging really resonates with, which they're all the more likely to engage at that point. So just two more things, really, really interesting, maybe even a little scary, like Big Brother-esque ways of engaging a user based on video. So this is obviously a in the real world ad on the side of a bus stop. Says, I can see you looking at me. Okay.
UK is really proud to be here today to launch the first in facial recognition
closer, take a peek.
technology.
So they come closer and take a peek and they can see that. So the text gets smaller and they're really starting to engage as a girl, so they know you're a girl.
And we're launching it here today.
I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'll share this.
That's
but
very cool, though. I mean, that's very cool.
It's interesting, and the point of this particular ad is it's like generalizing. So they're saying you're a girl, so this is what you do in society and stuff like that, or you're a boy, so this is like your place in society and shit like that. So it's I think they're just drilling the point home where it could go.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, I think what's interesting about sharing this placement. Oh, there you are. I think what's interesting about sharing this placement, Jeff, is this is not far off from stuff we could be doing right now. Like as a matter of fact, something similar, not to this detail, with the interactivity of recognizing the audience with like a camera or something, but a little bit short of that, we had in our campaign for Friendship, Love the Dove, which is just about to roll out. It's out-of-home placements where, based on time triggers, like the time of day, it'll be telling you, hey, here's a breakfast option versus, hey, here's a lunch option. So, it's not as interactive as you're showing with this one. That level of nuance is something we already have available and was already in our plan for the Friendship campaign. We just aren't activating it right now because how many people are walking around outside, to and from their jobs in some of these major metro markets. So
yeah, it's a super smart way to take data that you can create basically either with a camera, right, and facial recognition software, or just time of day.
Yeah,
it's good to have dynamic
triggers. Yeah, really good. Exactly, dynamic triggers are so powerful, and I think Greg and the rest of our engagement team have done an awesome job of starting to surface those opportunities to us. We just have to figure out how to take advantage of them. For sure.
And then blink washing is another interesting one that uses facial recognition. And this is kind of just a trailer, so I'll just explain it. You view an ad, and then every time you blink, it swaps the video that you're seeing, which is
like based on your webcam or something. So
and I'm assuming it's going to have to ask permission, right? Which is that's a barrier right away. Just like a flash ad, right? It's gonna say, hey, do you want to use this plugin to see the ad? It's a barrier, but it's a kind of cool way to engage in a different way versus, hover over, click, more traditional ways of engagement.
That's cool though.
That's all I have
Right
for you
on.
today.
Right on. Well, moving right along to Phil. I think you had some stuff you were excited to share as well.
Yep. Oh, can you see my whole screen?
We can see your whole
I'd rather
screen,
not, but we
yeah,
can.
we can see the. There we go. Yeah, just leave it on Chrome and you're good.
Okay. So the first thing I'm sharing is actually something that Isabel submitted. She had a meeting during Big Byte today, though, so I'm going to share
Shout
it
out.
for
Thanks,
her.
Isabel.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate submissions, so get those in. So this is a spot for inspired by Iceland, which is like Iceland's tourism organization, I guess. But basically, as hopefully you're seeing in the video, it's showing different scenes kind of that people can relate to during quarantine, and they just kind of scream in frustration, and then they end up showing them in a place in Iceland. So it's really about encouraging tourism in Iceland, which I think is pretty relevant to us as an agency, just because travel and tourism is one of our
For sure.
verticals. But what I thought was really funny is the web extension of it, which hopefully my tab switched over.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh yeah.
But it says tap to scream. So I'm not going to play any of the audio because you can actually listen to screams that people have recorded, and it can be jarring if you're not expecting it. So do it on your own time and make sure your volume isn't that high. But you can tap and record your own scream out of frustration, and it says that it will actually play that scream. So you can see in the background there's a speaker. It'll actually play it somewhere in Iceland. So you can do it from anywhere in the world, and your scream will be heard in Iceland, so you don't actually have to go there. They are trying to encourage tourism there, though, but it's not from like everywhere in the world right now.
I'm going to scream in Iceland later. Thank
so
you,
you
Phil.
Yeah, you should. And they have a therapist and mental health consultant that talks about the therapeutic benefit of screaming. So it gets a little bit deeper into it than just a gimmicky type of thing. And then you can actually play other people's screams here, and that's where it can get a little bit scary. Yeah, so I thought that was really fun, and thank you again to Isabel for finding that. Going off of that, I also saw on the Inspired by Iceland site that they also had something called the Iceland Academy, which I thought was a really cool way to not only encourage people to travel to Iceland, but kind of make them more comfortable about making that decision. And what I mean by that is they have all of these, I guess, like courses you can take, like how to drive in Iceland, things like that. And they have some really fun photography that's engaging and pack warm. Obviously, you're not going to wear just your underwear, but then at the bottom here, they have your diploma, and so it kind of like gamifies the whole thing. So I thought that was a really fun way to kind of get people more engaged into looking into choosing Iceland, because that might not be your
Maybe
first
not.
choice. Though I hear it's very nice. And then the second thing that Niceland, thank you. The last thing I wanted to show is continuing along the theme of, how brands are responding during a pandemic that's obviously still going on. And this is from Country Time, the lemonade brand, and it's called the Littlest Bailout, which if you submit your child's lemonade stand, if they're 14 years old or younger, you could you could potentially win a $100 prepaid card. And so it's really obviously promoting their lemonade, but it's also kind of cool because they're getting a little bit political with it. Because if you watch this video, I'll try to. You won't really get the full effect without the audio. But during the video, they're talking about how with some of the like the loans for small businesses that have been given. Larger companies have been getting those, and so it's getting a little bit political, which I thought was kind of cool for a lemonade brand that you might not think would go in that area, but it's really well done. And if anyone has children, you should go for it and see if you can get $100 out of it.
Yeah, I would love to see if anybody can get the littlest bailout here.
That's all I've got.
Cool.
That's cool.
So I think we're gonna flip to Jake and David now.
Cool. So
Well, in fairness, Jeff did say that he muted me, but no. No. Jeff actually just pinged me and said that he muted me, so maybe he muted Depot on accident too. And yeah, yeah. So maybe you did mute us all. David, try talking for a second again. See if we can hear you now. I somehow doubt that. Yeah, it seems that we're back now because I did go ahead and unmute the Skype, and it seems like people can be heard now. Yeah, let just everyone's dream come true. They can only see and hear me. Well, they should be able to see everybody else. But basically, the yeah. See, David's settings say his video's been disabled because he started screen sharing. So that's a local setting for David. That's probably why. Yeah. So hopefully we're gonna get everybody's audio back here. Jake, you want to vamp for a second and see if it works because there is a slight delay anyhow on the YouTube. Jeff's just got to stop mad muting people. You know, he's just going on a muting spree. Yeah, it's definitely the clicky keys. No, Jake, you're still not being heard. I don't think so. If you want to, just to get through this, if you want to say it, and I'll parrot it for you, because I can hear you fine. Ever since Jeff muted everybody, the audio went. Yeah, cool. So what Jake is telling me is that he's going to give me the recap first. That's what you need to know right now. So basically, what Jake is saying is that this is the inbound speaker spotlight page for revealing who the speakers are instead of just showing them all. It's interactive, so you actually kind of scroll and scrub across them to reveal specifically who the speakers for the event are. So this is basically because I'm pretty sure they still can't hear. So this is basically by Movable Ink, who I think Movable Ink does a lot also like in the poster space too. Like I'm pretty sure they've done like interactive poster work as well because we were potentially looking at them a vendor a few years ago for Jazz Fest. But basically, you're saying now Movable Ink also provides like a full, complete SaaS solution. Jake, is that what you're saying? Like a full like web hosting and like everything you would need to basically create these experiences sans a developer. I'm guessing. In theory, he says. So TLDR, they're making very cool tools accessible that maybe haven't been used in this way before, especially through Instagram. Is that the shortest way around? All right. Great point. Great point. So instead of needing to do a traditional webinar, Jake is saying, you can offer training directly through Instagram Live. And I imagine if we really thought about it, we could do similar things through Facebook, through YouTube, whatever. No, I'm pretty sure people aren't hearing you. But instead of like closing the whole thing down and trying to get back started, I figured we were close enough to the end where we'll write it out. Great. I'm going to speak as you're speaking a little bit, so it's going to annoy you, Jake, but it's going to be better for everyone else. Okay. So these last two resources Jake is showing are specifically for inclusive talent acquisition. So this first one redirects to a huge spreadsheet specifically for women who create creative women of color. This is like basically a whole database, how to access these people. And it seems like it's kept pretty current. Yes. Okay, so Jake just found this recently. You can add your name to it. So it seems like I like that thing at the top. Nobody. We can't find any diverse talent to hire. Well, here's a bunch of people. So that's pretty awesome. Sure. So then another site experience specifically for Black disabled creatives. Right. Yeah, so basically just saying with this site specifically, you know, this caters to a more, potentially a more specific audience where there could have been issues for these people to be able to actually come into an office due to, or work in a setting, you know, specific to their needs. And this is just a great resource to be able to, especially now, kind of in the place where we're all working remote, we're all, you know, working from our own most comfortable and convenient places. This is potentially a really powerful resource to make sure that we're inclusive of everybody who deserves an opportunity to be working in our industry. That's it. All right. So seeing some drop off, probably because you can only hear me. I wouldn't want to listen either. Thank you guys for hanging out. Please hit subscribe. We're so close to 100, then it can officially be just youtube.com/partners in Napier instead of some long character. Please hit subscribe. Jeff won't mute us next week, or at least I hope he won't. And then you guys can hear more people than just me. So thanks again. Please subscribe. Check you guys next week. Have a good weekend. Peace.